3, 2, I might mess this song up. 3, 2, I need you in my life. Where do I go? What do I do? I can't live without your love. Thinking of you makes me feel like I'm the only one for you. Girl, I want to be with you. No one else, only you. Why can't we just make it happen? Baby, I need you in my life. Hey, yo, welcome back to another episode of the Artist Blog Podcast, episode 112 to be exact. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. You guys are helping me as much as I'm helping you, and I appreciate that. This is a reciprocal energy thing. As you can see, I'm back in the city. I'm back in the bit. I told you I was only going to be gone for a little bit. Now I'm going to be right back. And as you see, I'm right back in the spot. Feels good to be home. Feels good to be back on mic. Feels good to be back on camera. I know the Wednesday pod wasn't here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I will be back with don't worry. The Wednesday pods are going to be back. The Wednesday pods are going to be back. I was just traveling. There was a lot going on, so I couldn't shoot the Wednesday pod. That's my bad. I'm sorry. Wednesday pods are back and running. I'm so sorry for not having a Wednesday pod for you. Excuse me. That will never happen again. There's a lot that happened. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. That is EriccurryII. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then you missed my whole thing. And the whole about first half of the pod is going to be about this one specific thing that I did on Monday that if you don't follow me on Instagram, you didn't see. Now, if you do follow me on Instagram, you got to see all of the greatness that Monday held. Now, if you don't know, Monday night to be exact, around 9:30 p.m., my favorite rapper in the world, my GOAT, my number one guy, Jermaine Lamar Cole, he hopped on stage at Madison Square Garden and performed 2014 Forest Hills Drive, the whole album live, and did some mixtape deep cuts, did some feature things all by himself with his band. And I just so happened to be inside of the building while he was performing the album. I was inside MSG. I went. I told you I was going to go. When the tickets came out, I said, Cole, I'm going to meet you at MSG on the 16th. Guess what I did? I saw Cole at MSG on the 16th. I did what I said I was going to do. I did what I said I was going to do. Not only did I enjoy a great concert, I also was posted on Dreamville's page. It's like it's a nice little clip of me and my dog Mick. Shout out Mick. Got a good chance to take my dog out to the concert. Listen, man, an experience only I could have my brother with. You feel me? An experience I can only take my brother to. My dog, I had a chance to go out with him to the Cole show. Had a great time. And it was spectacular. It was spectacular. It was a movie, if I do not say so myself. But before I get on ahead of myself, make sure if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast that you have ever heard in your life. All right, so what are we talking about today? Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Cole 10-year anniversary at MSG. Then we're going to be talking about 30 for 30, not the Drake freestyle, but the song on SZA's new deluxe album, which is crazy because I never seen a deluxe album come out 2 years after the original album, but it's SZA. She does what she wants, and I love it. We're going to be talking about if Cordae first week album flopped, which we're going to navigate that whole cycle of what is flopping, how does flopping don't really like equate to nowadays, and that whole thing. And then lastly, we're gonna go off on the Fresh Guys podcast. Yeah, let's jump straight into it. First thing on the docket, guess who saw J. Cole on MSG? Guess who saw J. Cole at MSG? Now I have to give a couple of shout outs before, you know, we do this. I have to give a couple of shout outs. First things first, shout out Pops. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my Pops for securing me with the tickets. Shout out to the Dreamville team and the Dreamville family. That was a great time, great vibes, great hospitality. Shout out Eve, shout out Cole, shout out all you guys out there. Shout out to my dog Mick for sliding with me. Shout out to the good folks at MSG. Shout out Queens, New York. Queens, you was in the building. Queens had that Joan rocking. Shout out Queens. All right, let's hop into the show. When I tell you that this show was one of the most energy-packed shows I've ever been to. You can feel the energy when you walked into the arena. As soon as you walked into Madison Square Garden, first and foremost, this was my first time in Madison Square Garden. So I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what to expect. Madison Square Garden is super beautiful. But this is my first time in the Garden, and my first time in the Garden to see my favorite rapper, so I'm highly excited. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the doors to get to the Garden. Went to the wheel call line, got our tickets, sat down, saw that we were in very good seats, right behind the little box jump where all the famous people are. So we got very good seats. From song one till last song, from the intro all the way to Note to Self. When I tell you, it was like everything went perfectly for Cole. Like, he ate the right breakfast in the morning. He got the right amount of sleep. He ironed his outfit the right way. His shoes was tied perfectly. Like, everything went so right during that performance. It was one of them performances where you know everything had to go wrong before performance day for that to go that right. Like, that went phenomenally spectacular. I've been to a lot of concerts in my life. I love going to live shows. I've been to a lot of live shows. I've been to a lot of concerts. I've been to a lot of concerts where you have to sit inside of an arena, right, and enjoy the show. But I have never in my life, ever, not one time, experienced what I experienced in the Garden on December 16th. When I tell you that the Garden was literally shaking, it was shaking. I lied to you not. This performance showed me what a real performer looks like compared to some of you other guys that get on stage and just do whatever you guys choose to do. This shows me what preparation looks like versus what non-preparation looks like. This shows me, hey, what does me locking in on this one thing that I want to do for one night only, entertain this showed me what spectacle looks like. This showed me what real spectacle looks like. Not the spectacle that y'all see on these other tours and y'all be like, oh my goodness, I see all of these things, all of these lights, all of this set, all of this. No. How this showed me spectacle in a sense of less is more. Do what highlights the song and not just what looks the best in the arena. Like, oh man, I want these lights to go crazy at this part because it will look cool. No, what will highlight the record that you are playing? What lights are going to highlight the record? What back screen thing is going to highlight the record? What things are you going to do that are going to highlight these records that you are playing? And not only highlight the records, how are you going to perform the records? Cole is great at performing his songs. Cole is amazing at performing his records. Hold on, y'all. This is my mom calling me. My mom, she doesn't really call me this late. I don't think she knows I'm podding, but I'm podding, Mom. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Cole performs his records really great and really amazing. Cole is great at performing records. Probably one of the best record performers when it comes to you might not liking a record at first, but then coming and watching the show and you enjoying a record. I remember people on Twitter saying, hey, I didn't really appreciate Hello on 2014 Forest Hills Drive as much as I should have until this live concert and I watched him perform it live. And now I genuinely appreciate the song in terms of how it fits in the sequencing of the album. That's what live performance is supposed to do. Same thing when I think Tyler says with New Magic Wand, people when he first dropped Igor, people didn't like New Magic Wand when he first dropped Igor, but then once he started performing it and once they saw his energy when he performed it and all those things, then they were like, you know what, I mess with New Magic Wand because I see how it's performed and I see his energy behind it. Cole does that masterfully, or at least he did that masterfully during the 2014 Forest Hills Drive live stream. I wish that a lot of the people, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that this happened and I'm pretty sure that this took place, but I would love to see all of the people who said in April when Cole apologized, including myself, because I was one of these people that said it too. I would like to see where were these people during the concert at MSG, number one. And number two, now looking and see that he had 175,000 people in the queue line, that he had the line wrapped around Irving Plaza for blocks among, like literally the line was lapping itself for these 2014 dollar tickets. Oh, by the way, he gave out $1 in a Dream tickets, 2014 of them. And if I didn't get the tickets, I would have been outside Urban Plaza waiting for that $1 in a Dream ticket. I promise you I would have. In the cold, in the rain, I would have been waiting for that $1 in a Dream ticket. I promise you I would have. Can we give it up for a guy who cares about the fan base real quick, though? Can we please give it up for a guy who cares about this fan base? In this economy, trying to do a show at MSG in New York City, you're going to give out 2014 dollar tickets? That's amazing to me, dog. That's amazing to me. And I don't know where their seats were. I don't know if they had the good seats or not, but they gave out 2014 dollar tickets, and that's all that matters. $1 in a Dream, like for real. Like that's an experience that you cannot get anywhere else. And it's it's so great. There's a lot. Okay. You know what? Let me just finish with my analysis of the show. Then we can get to all y'all haters and all that out there, right? Let me finish with my analysis of the show. So, sitting there watching the show and watching not only, and this isn't my first time seeing Cole perform live. I've seen him during the off-season tour. So I kind of know how he's going to perform all of these records. And I watched the 2014 Forest Hill Drive documentary 1,000 times. I've listened to the 2014 Forest Hill Drive live album 100,000 times. I know how he's going to play every record. I know how he's going to transition into every record. I know how the sequencing of this is going to go. So for the first 7 songs, he played from the intro to Saint Tropez straight through. He played it straight through, no stops, no breaks, straight through. And I think that's because he was running a little late, so he just went ahead and did it all straight through, right? But when he got to his mixtape cuts and he did I Get Up, he did Grown Simba, he did Lights Please, he did In the Morning, I think he did In the Morning, I think he did, then he did Dog, then he did then he did Two-Face. Now, if you don't know any of these songs, you need to go and look at Cole's mixtape era Cole, because that's where these songs stem from. These songs stem from mixtape era Cole. And when he performed Two-Face, because I've been listening to Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights is my most listened to album. It came out less than a month ago. I think it came out the week of Thanksgiving. And it's my most listened to album in 2024. I've played Friday Night Lights for over 1,000 minutes. I've listened to Friday Night Lights for I believe I'm approaching 1,500 minutes listened to on Friday Night Lights. When I tell you, when he performed Two-Face, I thought '03 Adolescence is my favorite Cole song, and I thought I was going crazy for '03 Adolescence, and I got a video of myself rapping the whole second verse of '03 Adolescence. The whole second verse, I got myself and me and Mick rapping the whole verse. I got it on recording on my phone. But when I tell you, when he performed Two-Face, when I heard that, Crack, 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 got $1 in the dream. So all a nigga got. So if it's by that cream, then I'm all up in the spot. Hey, when I heard that, I went crazy, dog, because I was literally listening to, and I'm not expecting, my expectations was just only 2014 4-2 Drive. He was going to play, obviously, some Born Sinner stuff. I was expecting some other stuff that he was going to play, some, of course, sideline story stuff. But I did, bro, when he played Two-Face, and like I was expecting, like, if he's gonna play anything, he was gonna play like Blow Up, Too Deep for the Intro, he was gonna play Premeditated Murder, like all the songs that people love. Two-Face though, Two-Face, one time, two time, three times. Sometimes I'm scrapped, sometimes I'm throwing up the peace sign. It's two sides to a nigga though. I said it's two sides to a nigga though. I mean, sometimes I'm feeling high, then I'm feeling low. Low, will I die? Will I survive? Let a nigga know. She wanna know me, but what side did you get to know? It's two sides to a nigga, yo. Bro, I went crazy. And the thing is, all the other songs that he played, like Grown Simba and I Get Up, he only did the hook to I Get Up. He only did the first verse to Grown Simba. He only did the first verse to Lights Please. But he did the whole song of Two-Face. Dog, I was there rapping my head off. I was rapping my head off. And then I realized, bro, this is what it's about. It's about, because he called this section of the show Muhammad Crib Classics. These are all the mixtape joints when he was broke and him writing just a whole bunch of records, just manifesting his success. Like him not knowing that he was going to reach success, him not, there was no guarantee yet of him hitting success, but him just believing in himself so much that he's willing to write these raps and record them as if he has already hit that next point. And I felt that so much in my spirit. Like, bro, right now I'm nowhere near the success that I want to be. There's no guarantee that this pod or my radio show or anything that I'm going to do is going to be successful. There's no guarantee, but I just believe in myself and my ability so much that I believe in me over anybody. So I'm willing to sit here and do this 110 times before I blow up, 120, 130, however many times I gotta do this before it happens. I'm willing to sit here and do it and work towards it because dreams come true. Listen, to anybody watching this, if you didn't get a chance to go to the Cole show, or if you didn't get a chance to watch the Cole live stream when it was happening, I want to give you the synopsis of what this Garden show meant to me. What this Garden show meant to me, and what I think Cole was alluding to during the show, is that dreams come true. Don't let nobody in the world tell you otherwise. Don't let nobody in the world tell you it can't be done, it won't be done, it hasn't been done, because guess what? You haven't done it yet, or you haven't tried it yet. So of course it hasn't been done because we're waiting on you for it to happen. Dreams come true. Believe in yourself and believe in your dreams because dreams come true. That's the one thing I learned from this show, and I cannot stress that enough. Bro, he literally said that, bro, Eve was like, I can't believe I just heard Two-Face live in the Garden. He was like, if you knew Cole back then in Muhammad's crib sitting on his bed writing that rap, then you would know that him performing this in the Garden in front of a sold out crowd seems like a dream. It seemed like a dream. Unironically, because guess what? I got $1 in a dream. That's all a nigga got. But it feels like a dream. It felt like a fever dream. And this just taught me that dreams come true. Your dreams come true. Whatever dream that you're chasing, whatever you want to do, take it, like, use this show as an example. I hope one day you can use me as an example to make sure that you realize that your dreams come true. I sat there and I was watching the show and I was like, bro, there's no way when he was writing I Get Up, or he was writing Grown Simba, or he was writing Two-Face, that he knew 10, 15, almost 20 years later that he will be in the Garden performing these same records in front of a sold out crowd, and these people are singing his songs word for word. There's no way. Dreams come true, dog. Your dreams come true. Keep dreaming. Don't stop. Don't stop dreaming. Shout out Dreamville. Shout out to all the dreamers that was in the building. Oh man, the energy there was unlike any other. Now for all you hating ass niggas, because you thought I forgot about you. I'm only going to say this one spill because I'm not going to have y'all ruin my mood and mojo after the Cole show. Bars. You guys are sitting online and saying, hey, of course he sold out the Garden. The tickets were $1. I don't know if you know this, but Madison Square Garden seats I was about to say 200,000. I was about to lie. Madison Square Garden seats 20,000 people. 2,000 of those tickets were $1. So that leaves 18,000 seats for regular civilians to pay whatever the price of the tickets were. Some people pay 3, some people pay 4, some people pay 5, some people pay the band for their tickets. However, what we're not going to do is get on the internet and sit up here and tell lies about the show and about the concert and about who was there and about how much people. We're not about to sit up there and do that. We're not about to sit up here and lie to people and lie and say that, oh, well, you know, hey, it cost $1. Who wouldn't go? It cost $1. We're not about to do that. And we're not about to act like Cole isn't about to sell out his festival either in April. That I'm going to put on record right now that I'm going to go to. I'm putting it on record right now. There's no guarantee, but I want to go to Dreamville Fest. That's the week after after my spring break. So I want to go to Dreamville Fest for that. I think that's the last one. I think I would like to partake in that. I would like to partake in Dreamville Fest. I'm not going to lie. Anyway. So yeah, like that experience was like no other. It was all love in the building, all love online. The day after, niggas started hating, but it is what it is. You know, listen, man. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. Cole, you got a lot of them, so that should let you know where you stand, how much rent space you hold up in a lot of people's heads. Next thing on the docket, I'm gonna touch on this really quickly because I didn't listen to this album and I didn't listen to the whole thing, and I don't want to give y'all a uneducated, like, just guess listen on how I think this album is. SZA released the SOS Deluxe Lana, and it's 15 extra songs on here. And from what I've heard, these 15 extra songs are amazing. Specifically, this song 30 for 30 with Kendrick Lamar. And hey, man, Kendrick and SZA just don't miss, dog. They just don't miss. Like, they don't miss. Like, y'all know that Snoop Dogg meme? That nigga just don't miss. Like, they really don't miss. Like, bro, that 30 for 30 that 30 for 30 is crazy. And Kendrick is talking spicy on there as always. But I did want to at least mention it because I didn't get a chance to really listen to it yet. I just got around to listening to the J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive Deluxe project. I just got down the Deluxe 10-year anniversary joint. I just got done listening to that this morning. It was cool. Some songs on there I like, some songs on there I don't really care for. It was cool. But I do need to listen to this SOS Deluxe, as I don't know if you guys know, but I am a SZA fiend. I am a SZA stan. I love SZA. You cannot say anything bad to me about SZA. About her artistry, about her songwriting, about her anything. You can't say anything bad to me about SZA at all. So yeah, I can't wait to give this a listen, give this a nice little open, digest it, sit with it, and yeah, when I get to that pod, I'll get to that on the pod. Next thing on the docket, told you I was going to get through that quick. Now we're going to be a little long-winded on this one. Did Corday's album flop? Now, Corday, if you don't know who Corday is a rapper from the DMV area. He was on the Breakfast Club, where Charlemagne the God was like, "Hey, do you think that your album flopped because I believe it only sold like 10K first week or something like that?" Now, this is my problem with the whole album flopping thing. In Corday, his response was very mature. It was very grown up response. And hey, man, like, listen, I don't really pay attention to those type of things because like he was because I think he was saying, man, people thought my last album flopped, but then I went on tour and my tour sold out and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he was like, man, y'all are comparing me to people who are 10, 15 years in the game when it comes to numbers. But if you compare me to any of my peers, we are doing the same exact things. Like we are very similar in the metrics, right? So he was like, I don't really care about none of that flopping stuff. Corday fell off. He was like, he don't really care about none of that, which is a very mature response from him because I wouldn't have responded like that. I would have said, man, I can't even say what I was going to say on the pod. I probably can't even say what I would want to say, right? But I say that to say this. Corday did not flop. His album sold 10K. That's not a flop. The album sale metric needs to be fixed. That's all I hear when I hear these topics come up about did such and such flop, this album only sold this much first week, this album only sold this much first week. For the people who don't know where the first week metrics came from, the first week metrics came from during the CD era. During the CD era, when people were buying CDs, because that's something that people did back in the day, when people were out buying CDs and there were actual shelf space for them CDs, first week metrics were calculated to see how much an album was liked to make sure you have enough shelf space for the album or to keep the albums on shelves. What is shelf space? Shelf space is literally just how much space an album takes up on a shelf or a book takes up on a shelf. A shelf space is mainly used for in like the book world, but I'm gonna use it for the album world too, or the music world too. So in first week, if your album did 102, if your album did 500 copies first week in 2004, 2005, then you're going to have a lot of shelf space for a long time. But if your album only did 30K, 40K first week in 2004, 2005, your album was going to be off the shelves very quickly and replaced with whatever everybody else wanted to hear, right? However, now it's a little bit different. We don't have to worry about shelf space because we are in the age of streaming. Nobody in the age of streaming is sitting up here and being like, damn, like, man, my thing is taking up such and such amount of space on Apple Music. My album is taking up this much space on. You don't have to worry about that. It's unlimited. You can listen to any album from any time, from any era, from any artist, from any place, from anywhere at any time. Like we don't have to worry about shelf space anymore to control the metrics. Also, there's significantly more music being released now than it was back then when the whole CD era metrics were popular. There's significantly more albums being made and created now. So there's more music to be consumed, which means for the top artists or who we would consider like the top artists or the guys that like the labels might push a whole bunch of money into, there's a lot more room for other artists to sneak in there compared to back in the day. And then also the way that streams are calculated, again, don't even let me get on this topic, but the way streams are calculated are awful. We still don't have an exact formula. We don't have no type of exact math equation for how streams are calculated. And there's no reasoning why streams are calculated in this type of way. So again, when somebody says that your album sold, hold on. How many, we're about to look this up. Because I think people misassociate for how many streamed. I think people think, oh, 10K sales only means people streamed your album 10,000 times. That's not what that means. How many streams is 10? How many streams is 10,000? How many streams is 10,000 sales? Oh, I can't spell. Sales. Because I think people equate how much you sell with how much your album is being streamed. And that's not accurate. Like, that's not accurate. Okay, all right, boom, right? Because they didn't want to give me the regular thing. So we're going to have to do some math. So 1,500 streams is for 10 tracks. So 10 tracks, 1,500 streams means 10 track sales means one album sale, right? So 1,500 streams, where's my calculator? We're going to have to do this. So actually, I don't even, because he sold 10,000, 1,500. So that means his first week, his album got streamed like 150,000 times, if my math is correct, or 1.5 million times, if my math is correct. 1,500 times. Dun, 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 dun. Boom. One, two, three. Boom. Wait, hold on. Boom. Wait, hold on. Boom. Boom. Okay, boom. Got you. So that means his album was streamed 15 million times. My bad, my math was a little off. His album was streamed 15 million times so he can get 10,000 sales. 10,000 sales is 15 million streams. So if there's 15 million streams on your album, I'm sorry, but to me, that's not a flop. You didn't flop, and you didn't, like, if people listen to, but people aren't breaking down streams like that. Like 100,000 streams is crazy, is a crazy feat when you think about that. I mean, 100,000 sales first week is a crazy feat when you think about something like that. Like, how many people are streaming your record? How many streams is your album getting? How many whole streams is your album getting? Like, it's a lot when you think about it like that. So when we think about, oh, this artist flopped, such and such flop, such and such album didn't do good, such and such project didn't do good, whoop, right? Whatever the case may be, we think about all of these things. We have to really sit and think about, well, okay, let's really do the math on this. How many people, how many streams does this equate to? How many people are listening to this album? And if this person goes on tour, how many people will show up on the tour? That's the real thing for me. For me personally, if you go on tour and if you're selling out the tour, that's the real key to see how many people are really messing with your music. On the flip side of that, you can sell 100,000 records. You can sell 100,000 records and nobody comes to see you perform. It's happened before. It's happened multiple times. It's happened where artists go diamond, go gold, go whatever the case may be, and they do all of these amazing things, great things, but when it's time to perform or they go to a festival or whatever, their performance is very lackluster and it's buns and it's awful and it's terrible. I'm not going to name no names, but I know a lot of you, I think, of some artists. I have a lot of artists in my name that I've seen clips and videos of where their performances are lackluster after they got themselves a big hit and a big shot. So I say that to say, listen, man, we have to stop looking at these numbers and be like, oh, such and such flop. This person flopped. This person did X, Y, and Z. Let's really do the math on what these numbers mean. Let's really do the math on how many people are listening. Let's really do the math on ticket sales. Let's do the math on things that you can't fake. Let's do the math on things that you can't that you can't perpetrate. Let's do the math on these things. Let's do the math on the things that the label can't control. Let's do the math on the things that, like, the labels can't control, the DSPs. The labels can't control how many tickets. Like, let's do the math on these things. Let's not do the math on, oh man, your album only sold this many copies, so you flopped. Because nowadays, it's no hard sale. Like, there's rarely any hard physical sales. So even if your album did do 10,000 sales, that it's not equating to 10,000 hard copy transactional sales or iTunes sales. Again, we have to think these are streams, and how much is a stream calculated to? We have to think about all of these things when we talk about album sales and how much an album artist is doing. So we have to be more, I would say, give more grace to a lot of artists when it comes to like, hey, this album flopped, this album didn't do good, this album's doing better than this album's doing better than this. We have to stop doing that. There's a lot of labels that are working very hard to make sure these albums are being sold. There's a lot of labels making sure and are working very hard and diligently to make sure that albums are getting sold. Wink, wink, if you get what I'm saying. But you know who is not working very diligently or very hard or is being very kind or demure? The fresh and fit, excuse me. Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me. Oh, man. The Fresh and Fit podcast, excuse me. The Fresh and Fit podcast, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. They aren't doing so well. So, Drewski made a video. And it was a video highlighting the Fresh and Fit podcast. Well, not really highlighting the Fresh and Fit podcast, but the caption of the video says, money won't unlame you, right? And he wasn't talking to nobody directly. He was like, the Drewski skits where he can be talking about 1,000 people in one skit, right? But he did have Fresh and Fit in the skit. And not really in the skit, but he had their logo in the skit. Like, oh, these are the guys that I'm making fun of with this, right? And Fresh and Fit didn't take lightly to being made fun of. They said this, and it's going to get to a point where there are words that I cannot say. So I just want to make that clear. Drewski made a whole video on us. By the way, shout out to Complex. I'm quoting Complex right now, a Complex article that is being made, written by, who is this written by? Written by Joe Price. Shout out Joe Price. All right. So, all right. And I quote, Drewski made a video on us that fat bastard, said Gaines, who has had a hair transplant. Now, I didn't know. Now, if you don't know who Gaines is the fit guy. He's the fit guy, the lighter skinned guy. Apparently, he has a hair transplant. I didn't know that. That's none of my business, though. That's not why we're here. You're too much of a coward to even come on our show because of your sponsors and brands. If you took our advice, you wouldn't have wifed up a whole ass Ruby Rose. That's fucking embarrassing. Dudes putting videos out, kissing her, doing vacations, all this other shit. He can sit there and say it was marketing scheme all day, bro. Those lips on her, bro. Those are your lips on her though, nigga. And that girl's a whore. Then he goes on to say, and you're fat at the. That's not funny. That's not funny. It's not funny. Hold on, let me lock in. Eric, lock in. All right. I'm locked in. All right. And all right, chill. And you're fat at the end of the day, Gaines continues, struggling to find legitimate criticisms for Drewski. If you're fat, it's an auto L. I don't take nobody serious that's fat. Very fat phobic comments, by the way. How are you 300 pounds trying to talk shit about me, bro? Talking about enhancers, bro. If I was president of the United States, I have your fat ass. Can't say that. We don't take y'all niggas seriously. You guys are second class citizens in my society, bro. In my eyes, niggas are third class citizens. Then he ended up saying, naturally enhance my hairline, then having to unnaturally enhance my insulin. Oh, that was corny. All right. Listen, Drake said it best. Ironically, I be trying to laugh with the bros, but they can't take a joke. Y'all niggas can't take a joke. Y'all niggas need to laugh. That's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to laugh a little bit, man. It was a joke. Drewski's a comedian. And y'all said that Drewski won't come on y'all show. Nigga, nobody's going to come on your show. Nobody's coming on your show now. I'm guessing you invited Drewski to come onto your show, and rightfully so, smartly so, he said, no, I'm not coming on there. One, because he knows his demographic. And once you know who's really running things, see, I'm not going to give, I'm going to wait a couple episodes to give y'all the game on this. But once you know who's really running things when it comes to marketing and when it comes to the dollar amount, like where your dollar goes and how valuable your dollar is in a certain community, once you really figure out who's running that and who specifically is running that, and it's not going to be who you think, well, some of y'all is going to be what y'all think, but a lot of y'all is not going to be what you think. Until you figure that out, then you're going to be in a place where you're like fresh and fit, where you're just going to be saying anything at all, and you're just going to be talking crazy, talking reckless, and then nobody's really rocking with you because, one, people who do agree with you, they don't want to outwardly say that they agree with you because of the public backlash that they're going to get because y'all are so wild. And secondly, for people like me who have some common sense, who don't agree with anything that you're saying at all, we just look at you guys as clowns and as dudes who struggle with self-esteem and struggle with all of those things, right? And want to hurt women and hate women and all of those things, right? And think of women as less than. And then it's the women who think of you guys as just bitch ass niggas, which I concur. I agree. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna hold you. I concur and I agree. But I wanted to point this out, right? Because I think that I realized the thing when it comes to these guys, right? And not just the fresh and fit guys, but just guys in general, right? When you hurt somebody's feelings enough, when you hurt somebody's feelings and they can get really deep in their feelings and they can get super emotional and you can make them super like out of character. Ooh, Hulk smash, I'm angry, right? Once you can get somebody like that, which they were, they're not going to admit that they were, but they were. I saw them. They were. I watched the video. They were hurt. But at least the fit guy, Myron, at least he was hurt. The other guy, he don't really talk. That nigga's like Ferb. He don't say nothing. He's on mute. I'm pretty sure he's a mute. I'm not gonna lie. I've never heard him say not one word on that podcast. I don't even know why he's on the podcast. He doesn't talk. But the guy who does all of the talking, right? The uninformed leader of the red pill community guy, right? Also the guy who's super racist and doesn't like black people, a whole bunch of things, right? Doesn't really like nobody but himself, and he's super self-centered guy. Guys like that, when you like the girlies say, when you clock the tea a little too much, when you really clock the tea, and you really get under somebody's skin, they're gonna be upset, and a hit dog's gonna holler, and these niggas got hit in the jaw, and I'm not gonna lie, it was funny, and they know people think it's funny. And they don't like being the butt of the joke. But it's so many women that have been on your podcast and that have been on your platform that have been the butt of so many jokes for so long, but you don't like when the shoe's on the other foot. You can't handle that. You can't handle that. Now your ego is crushed. Now your pride is crushed. Now your emotions is crushed. Now that everybody's like, ha, 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 Myron's the butt of the joke, ha, ha, ha. After you try to get us on your side, be like, ha, 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 look at all these women, ha, 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 look at all these OnlyFans girls that are doing this, ha, 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 right? And try to make them the butt of the joke. Now you're the butt of the joke and you don't like it? What? You know what this gives me? This gives me Drake suing UMG. But just on a very lesser scale, right? Now, if I was Drewski, instead of responding to these guys in a very formal way, in a formal apology or whatever you want to do in like a statement or whatever, I will make another skit making fun of these niggas. Just doing a victory lap of all victory laps. I will make another skit, make another one, doing a victory lap on them. And call it a day. Dead it there. Right? But when you're in this space, what I've realized, right? When you're in this space, when you're in the media space, the best thing that you can do is kill your ego quickly. Kill your ego quickly. Kill your ego quickly and kill your ego quickly. That's the best thing that you can do quick when you're in the entertainment space. Kill your ego quickly. Because if your ego doesn't die, you will. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Arts Block Podcast. I've been your host, Eric Curry III. This is my Dead or Alive. If this is your first time listening to the Arts Block Podcast, hello. If this is your last time listening to the Arts Block Podcast, goodbye. But Dead or Alive is a segment on the podcast with me or other artists on the podcast. Get to choose artists that we would like to work with that is dead or alive. Now, we can choose one artist. We can choose 100 artists. This is my podcast. I'm going to do whatever I want. You know what? I'm going to choose Drewski. I'm going to choose Cole. I'm going to choose Dot. I'm going to choose SZA. And shout out to them other guys we talked about, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. I've been your host, Eric Curry III. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. You can follow the podcast at Arts Block Podcast. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast that you have ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, please give me a like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified whenever we post another pod. Remember that artists never die. Remember that I love you, God loves you. Remember to do something that you love every single day. Do it with meaning, do it with love, do it with purpose, do it with passion, do it great, do it patiently. Patience is a virtue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, boys. 2024 is coming to an end. Next pod, hold on, let me check my calendar real quick. Live on pod. So we're gonna have we have 2 more pods in 2024. We have December, we have the Christmas pod coming out that I'm gonna record on Tuesday on Christmas Eve. So we got the Christmas pod that's gonna come out, and then we have but it's gonna be the new year. Oh, no. We have the Christmas pod. Then we have the December 29th pod. Then after that, after those 2 pods, we're into 2025, New Year's Day. Arts Block Podcast dropping. Wow, Arts Block Podcast dropping on New Year's Day. That means 2025 is going to be a huge year for us. 2025 is going to be a huge year for us. I believe it. I'm stamping it now. I'm praying on it. Y'all pray for me. 2025 is going to be the year the podcast goes to places that minds couldn't even imagine. Podcasters aren't even going to know the places that this pod is going to go in 2025. Podcasters aren't even going to know, like, dang, you can do that? You can do that as a podcast? You can get these things? They're not even going to know. They're not even going to know. And people are going to look at us and they're going to be like, man, this kid came out of nowhere. Who is this kid? This kid came out of the wazoo. This kid is who is this kid? Eric, right? He's an overnight guy, industry plant guy. I'm ready for all of the industry plants, ready for all the overnight success things. But the proof is in the pudding. I'm over 100 episodes deep. I've interviewed the mayor. I've interviewed council members. I've interviewed your favorite artists. I've interviewed anybody that I've interviewed presidents of medical facilities. I've interviewed people who work at museums. I've interviewed government officials. I've interviewed attorney generals. I've interviewed. Hey man, listen, my resume speaks for itself. I don't really want to do no more talking about it. 2 pods until 2025. Let the countdown begin now. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, boys. Peace and love. I am out.